What is the meaning of life? Have you ever pondered this age-old question? It's a query that's been at the forefront of human thought for as long as we've been capable of introspection, one that sparked countless debates, inspired myriad philosophies, and driven our ceaseless quest for knowledge. This isn't merely a question of individual significance, it's a collective inquiry that transcends borders and cultures, a universal mystery we're all striving to unravel. And it's a question that's never lost its relevance. In our rapidly changing world, it's as pertinent now as it was hundreds, even thousands of years ago. But what makes this question so enduring, so captivating? Perhaps it's because the answer or answers to it can shape our understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. It can influence how we live our lives, how we interact with others, and how we perceive our surroundings. It's a question that speaks to our deepest yearnings for comprehension and connection. Over the course of human history, our understanding of life's meaning has continually evolved. As we've grown and changed, so too have our interpretations of this eternal question. From the ancient philosophies of the East and the West, to the religious doctrines of the Middle Ages, to the scientific and existentialist perspectives of the modern era, we've proposed a multitude of answers, each reflecting the unique zeitgeist of its time. Indeed, the quest for life's meaning is as diverse as humanity itself. It's been explored in the hallowed halls of academia and the quiet corners of introspective solitude. It's been the subject of epic poems and humble prayers, of scientific theories and spiritual revelations. In every culture, in every epoch, we find traces of this enduring inquiry, proof of our shared desire to understand the purpose of our existence. So, what is the meaning of life? Well, that's a question with as many answers as there are individuals to ponder it. But perhaps the true value of this question lies not in the answers it yields, but in the journey it inspires, in the exploration, the introspection, the conversation it sparks. Join us on a journey through time, exploring mankind's quest to understand life's purpose. Our quest begins in the ancient world, where philosophers first grappled with understanding life's purpose. In the cradle of Western philosophy, Greece, great minds like Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato developed profound theories about life's purpose. Socrates, the father of Western philosophy, believed that the purpose of human life was personal and spiritual growth. He strived to expand his mind and deepen his wisdom rather than amassing wealth or achieving earthly success. "The unexamined life is not worth living," he famously declared. Then there's Aristotle, a student of Plato and a mentor to Alexander the Great. He proposed that the highest purpose of human life is to achieve eudaimonia, often translated as happiness or flourishing. He posited that humans flourish when they perform their function well, and according to him, our function is to use reason, live ethically, and cultivate virtues. Plato, a student of Socrates and the teacher of Aristotle, took a more metaphysical approach. He argued that the purpose of life is to attain the highest form of knowledge, which he referred to as the form of the good, akin to the ultimate truth or the ultimate reality. Moving from the Western to the Eastern world, we find philosophies like Buddhism and Taoism offering their interpretations of life's purpose. Buddhism, founded by Siddhartha Gautama, or Buddha, suggests that the purpose of life is to achieve nirvana, an enlightened state of understanding that frees the soul from the cycles of rebirth and suffering. Taoism, an ancient Chinese philosophy, posits that the purpose of life is to live in harmony with the Tao, an intangible and ever-present force that governs the universe. To Taoists, living in accordance with the Tao means accepting and yielding to the flow of life, embracing simplicity, and seeking inner peace. While these ancient philosophies varied greatly, they all sought to understand life's purpose and how to live it well. They remind us that the search for life's meaning is as old as thought itself, a journey that continues to inspire and challenge us today. As we move into the medieval period, religion becomes a dominant force in interpreting life's meaning. During the Middle Ages, a shift occurred from the philosophical interpretations of life's purpose, prominent in ancient times, towards a more religious perspective. This shift was largely influenced by the rise of monotheistic religions, most notably Christianity and Islam, which began to dictate the narrative of life's meaning. In the Christian worldview, the purpose of life was seen as the fulfillment of God's will. This could include a variety of tasks and responsibilities, ranging from acts of kindness and charity to the propagation of the faith itself. The ultimate goal was to achieve salvation, the eternal bliss of heaven, and avoid the eternal punishment of hell. It was a perspective that offered hope and comfort, a promise of reward for righteousness and moral living. Similarly, in Islam, the purpose of life was understood within the context of submission to Allah's will and the pursuit of a righteous path. The 5 pillars of Islam provided a framework for life's purpose, encompassing faith, prayer, charity, fasting, and pilgrimage. The promise of paradise served as a motivating factor, encouraging moral and ethical living. These religious perspectives permeated every aspect of life in the medieval period, influencing social structures, political systems, and personal behaviors. The interpretation of life's meaning was no longer a question of personal philosophy, but a matter of religious doctrine. It was a time when the divine was seen as the ultimate arbiter of life's significance. But with this shift came new questions and challenges. How does one reconcile personal desires with religious obligations? What happens when religious interpretations conflict? These were the questions that began to surface as the medieval period progressed, leading to a new era of philosophical and religious exploration. These religious interpretations provided comfort and guidance, but also led to new questions and challenges. In the modern era, science and existentialism have offered new interpretations of life's purpose. As we moved away from the medieval period, the Age of Enlightenment dawned, bringing with it a new scientific perspective. The world began to be understood not merely through spiritual or divine lenses, but also through the lens of empirical data and logical reasoning. This scientific revolution has deeply influenced our understanding of life and its purpose. A fine example of this influence is Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, which posited that the purpose of life is survival and reproduction. This theory, rooted in the observation of the natural world, offered a starkly different interpretation from previous religious or philosophical notions. It suggested that life's purpose might not be universally divine or metaphysical, but rather biologically driven and evolutionary. But it wasn't just science that shaped our modern understanding. Existentialist philosophers took the stage, arguing that life's meaning is not predetermined or universal, but instead is individually created. Existentialism, a philosophy popularized by thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus, posits that each person must find their own purpose or meaning in life. It emphasizes personal freedom, responsibility, and the subjective nature of existence. This idea of subjectivity has become a cornerstone of modern interpretation. It suggests that the meaning of life might be different for each person, shaped by their own experiences, beliefs, and values. It tells us that life's purpose is not something to be discovered, but rather something to be created. Yet despite these modern interpretations, the question of life's purpose remains as elusive as ever. While science provides us with biological and empirical explanations, and existentialism emphasizes individual creation of meaning, neither offers a definitive answer. These interpretations, as enlightening as they are, only add layers of complexity to the age-old question, what is the purpose of life? The modern era's interpretations have expanded our understanding of life's purpose, but the question remains open to interpretation. From ancient philosophers to modern scientists, the search for life's meaning has been a constant throughout human history. We began our journey with the ancient philosophers, who sought to understand the world and our place in it. They believed in the idea of an ordered universe where everything has a purpose. From the Stoic acceptance of life's hardships to the Epicurean pursuit of pleasure, they offered different paths to find meaning and contentment. As we moved into the medieval era, religion became a dominant force shaping our understanding of life's purpose. The concept of a divine plan and the promise of an afterlife offered solace and a sense of purpose. Yet, even within this framework, thinkers like Thomas Aquinas and Avicenna grappled with the human condition, exploring the intersection of faith and reason. With the dawn of the modern era, our perspectives on life's meaning underwent a profound shift. Existentialists like Sartre and Camus argued that life has no inherent meaning, and it's up to us to create our own. On the other hand, scientists and philosophers like Darwin and Nietzsche proposed that we're shaped by evolutionary forces and the will to power. Yet, despite these varied viewpoints, a common thread weaves through them all. The search for the meaning of life is not just about finding an answer. It's about the journey itself. It's about seeking understanding, grappling with existential questions, and forging our own path. As we've seen, our understanding of life's purpose has evolved and diversified over time, reflecting the changing cultural, social, and scientific contexts. But at its core, the search for meaning remains a deeply personal endeavor. It's about making sense of our experiences, our hopes, our fears, and our dreams. While the question, what is the meaning of life, may never have a definitive answer, the search for it continues to shape our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. So let's continue this quest, exploring, questioning, and seeking, for it's in this journey that we truly find ourselves.